Okay, guys. Okay, so welcome to this session for OAuth authentication for to get the token using the AL code. So I'm just showing in this demo how we can get the token after writing the code, right? So let's get started. So first of all, what I did, I'm just showing you the demo how it is going to work. So in that case, I have created a page. You can call it a setup page where I put some, the required thing what we have, like tenant ID, secret, scope, and all. So this is the page I have created here. So you can see I have defined the four field here. One is the client ID, client secret, tenant ID, and the scope. All these things, all these fields value you can get easily from when you are registering your app using the Azure portal through the app registration. Okay, so after putting it here, you can see there are two buttons I had put here. So actually, when we are trying to access the token using the AL code, there are two options we can use to get the token. One is I just named it with the token with MS, and the other one is the token with HTTP. So I'll let you know the difference. What is the difference? So let me show you the code. Okay, so now we are in the code now. So this is the page you can see here. So I had defined two variables to display them as a page field. So one is the client ID, client secret, add tenant ID, and the scope ID, right? So in my case, what I did, I just hard coded the value, whatever the I did in the Azure portal during the app registration. So what I did, I just put it the hard coded value for all the variables which are showing in the page as a field. Okay. Now, what I did, I just declared a new coordinate. So it's up to you how you want to write your code. So in my case, I am declaring a coordinate, and in that coordinate, I'm declaring the more one or two functions to get the tokens and to validate the particular APIs. So like I told you before, there are two ways we can get the token. One is the MS Microsoft inbuilt functions, and the other one is using the HTTP methods. So I'm showing you both of them. So let's talk about the first one. I just named it call business central API using MS. So what is the difference with the MS and HTTP? So in this case here you can see I had declared one more function, get access token, and I had pass those values which I had defined in the page as a parameter here. Tenant ID, client ID, secret ID, and the scope. So when you are writing or putting this value of this all the fields, so make sure all things are correct. If anything is not correct and everything is not in particular manner, then it can give you the error. Okay. So with this function, I am calling the another function get access token. So I am defining all this and passing the parameters, these parameters, and this is my let me show you. This is the authority URL. Okay, so let's go inside this function. This is the function. Okay, so this is the scope. In my case here, I just declared it here, or I can use my the scope field which I had designed here in the page. Right. So now you can see this is the coordinate inbuilt by the Microsoft. Okay, coordinate OAuth2. You can declare it, and after declaring, you can see there is a function automatically defined acquire token with client credentials. Okay, so why that is the reason I just named this function called business central API using the MS. Okay, so by using this inbuilt function, only just you need to define or passing these parameters like client, secret, authority URL. What is the authority URL? Authority URL is the same when you had registered your app during the Azure portal. You see there was some endpoints like I shown you in the previous video. This is the access token token URL. Okay, this is the same URL I just copied from the endpoints section. Okay, and this is the same way we have to define when we are calling this function. Okay, this is the authority text. This is the parameter. Okay, after putting it, you can see the parameters: authority URL, redirect URL, scope. So I'm not putting any redirect URL parameter here because I don't want to redirect my, this uh, this value or the token. Okay, so I'm just only putting the authority, and then scope, and the access token is as a var variable here. You can see as a var. It means when you are using this function, it will get the result into this variable, so that later on you can use this variable. Okay, so when you are using this, I just put my failure condition if the system is not able to get the particular token, or there is something wrong in the URL or somewhere else, so it will put the error at the same time when the client or any other vendor trying to use or trying to get that access token. Okay, so now this is nothing but you can ignore it or you can put, there is no use. Okay, so this is the one method. You can use the access token using this inbuilt function, which is already with this coordinate. Okay, so when you are using this get access token method, you are getting the token here. So the value will become here, and you can use another thing using the HTTP client. Why we are using the HTTP client? Because we are just going to test our basic API. Okay, the basic API can be something like, in my case, I'm using this API to get all the companies, whatever in my sandbox, right? Or this API can be another, like you define when you are publishing a coordinator, publishing a page to a web service, so that API also can be used. So in my case, I'm using this API to get all the company details with the sandbox environment. Okay, so now what happened? When you have used this function, it is getting that token into this variable, and I'm using, this is the global variable I defined here. Okay, this is the value coming here. And after it, I'm using this another function, check result. What is the check result? Check result is something we are just going to test our API. Okay, this is the custom URL. This custom URL can be anything. Like I said before, I'm using these companies to get the company detail. So this is the standard method like you use with your JSON script or when you are consuming the other APIs. Okay, there is nothing changed. So what I'm doing here, I'm just declaring the URL. I'm just passing this URL by using the get method, or it can be a post method in your case. So it is up to the requirement. Okay, so now if it is not getting the particular response in this case, so I'm putting the errors. If it is getting the access code success, so it will be 200 and will be passed, and we will read that result by using the read as method by the response. The response is something HTTP response message. Okay, so when the result will be get in this case, so it will passed by this value here, return, and the return value will be used by a exit. And how it is actually working here, let's go back to that page, and this is my function I'm calling with the ms method, and message, as a message function I'm using this whole function with the parameters. Okay, let's try to use that now. Okay, so I have declared all the values here. I checked with my app registration. Now click on this here. Let's see if here. One second. Should not be built. Let's try to debug it here. Okay. Okay. After putting the value here, and just click on this button. And try this. And my client is secret, and this is the URL. Now deposit. So if you see, the access token is coming now by using this inbuilt function. Now coming out of this. Okay, I understand. Okay, so you see what is the problem? I'm using this client variable here, but it is out of scope. You see, that's the problem. So I can. Okay. The token. Okay, token coming back here. Now, okay. So the code is success now, true, and the result will come into this variable. Press F5. Okay. So this is the result we are getting now. Okay, this is the same result when you do. If you try to use the any postman, so you can use that, and whatever the response you will get here, the same response will be received by this method. Okay, so this is successing now. Okay, so this is the one method I use with the inbuilt Microsoft function authentication application client. Okay, now try to use the another function using the HTTP method. Okay, so this is the same problem here. So let's move on this the another function using the HTTP. So what is the difference? If you see, I used this get access token method in this function, but I'm using the another function here, get token, using HTTP. You see here. So the basic difference is here. When you are using the HTTP method, you have to declare each and everything like you do in the Postman, to declare your header section, to declare your content section here, and configuration. The same parameter and methods you have to define here. So in this case, you see, I just first I need I declare a content here using this type of function or methods. You see, the access token URL, first of all, I declare it, client ID, client secret, grant type, and the scope. This is the same. You can see here, access token, client ID, client secret, and the scope. Okay, so this is the HTTP section we have to define each and every time when we are using and trying to get the token. Okay, so now again we are declaring the content also. Okay, so content type in this case would be application www from until URL encoded. Okay, this is the particular important method we need to declare when we are trying to use the token with the HTTP functionality. So in this case, this is the same URL what we had received from the endpoint section from the app registration in the Azure portal. Okay, and this is the particular use of this function. We are using this, we are passing this HTTP content method here, what we have declared in this case, and now we are getting the response. This is the as a where variable we are receiving here. Okay, after using it, we are reading this response as a text, and we are extracting the token from this response by using this method. So I think you must aware this. You are already aware with this function, how we get any particular the property values by using this function. Let me show you. This is the same function by using a particular token key. Okay, so after using the access, after getting the access token, we are using the same variable as we had used in the previous function. This is the global variable we are using here. So after using the access token, rest of the method is same. We are just passing this access token, whatever we are getting from here, and sending back to this function check result. Now let's also try this. Okay. Okay. So now try with this. Okay. This is the same result we are getting by using the HTTP method. So let me show you. Go back to that page, and this is another function I had, or another button I had created here by using this HTTP method. Okay. Rest of the things is same apart from the declaration and posting the login credential using this post method with using of the JSON script or JSON values, parameters and all. Okay, that's it from my side. Any question?
So actually, Nitin, what is the use case of this one means? Any practical example, if you can.
Practical example is something like you had shared your API with one of your vendor. Okay, so that they want to access your business central or your data. So what you will do in this case, you will declare some web coordinate for them, or you will declare some page so that they can access. But the earlier scenario was when you are sharing your API to the other third party vendor, so they to access those page or coordinate, you need to provide the web service and web service key, right?
Okay.
But in this case, you are providing the same API with them, but they are not able to use the web service and web service key anymore in the future. Okay, so bypassing that problem, the Microsoft need to do the token values. So every time, whenever they want to access your API, they have to generate a token. Okay. So the token only available for 10 minutes, the validity. Every time when the when your vendor or when your other user want to access outside your business center or outside your environment, so they will access the token first, and by using that token they can get your API access. This is the this is the practical use. So why we are demoing here? This is the main reason.
Yeah, Nitin, actually, the use case could be like whenever third-party application using that Azure token and providing these details, we can use this code to access those web services,
Okay.
those APIs. So this is from BC. Like from BC, how you could generate the token from third-party application using our Microsoft standard method and access their APIs. Suppose two BC, right? Now your BC business center and you are communicating with another business center instance. So
Okay.
from another business center instance, you need a access token,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that you can do that using these two methods.
Okay. Thank you. Makes sense. Yep.
Now, what is the difference, Nitin, through HTTP or through by default Microsoft function?
The difference is very simple. When you are using the Microsoft code, you don't have to pass anything. You don't need to declare any other kind of HTTP contents or any other HTTP variables here. So directly you can use the function directly here and pass your all the values with a secret client ID and your URL. That's it. So by
So by,
passing this value, you can get the token easily.
so by default, we should use this get access token functions more
Yes.
frequent.
Yeah.
Good, Nitin.
Yeah. Okay. So any other question, Venkatesh, Raghu?
Venkatesh.
Yeah. Currently, we don't have any clarification. Maybe I think I need to change one of our client also the same thing. Using basic authentication. Maybe.
So if you want Raghu or Venkatesh or any, Rajesh, can I put this in DevOps?
Yep.
So that can be used later.
Yes, we should.
So you can create a folder. I will put it there.
Yeah, I'll create.
And Nitin, do we have this token expiry also? Within which time this token will expire?
Yes. Actually, there is another matter I will try within the later time, but I think there are some inbuilt function. There are more inbuilt function here. You can try to use them. It also gives a particular token of expiry time.
Okay, only if we specify expiry only, then if not, it will be throughout that section, it will be available. This token will be available, right, for us?
Right. So once we have get the token, it has the validity for the 10 minutes. Within the 10 minutes, you can use your API and access the other API, right?
Okay.
But the token expiry is something else. Like when you had registered your app through Azure portal, you define there for how much time period that this app will be available. For 3 months, minimum is 3 months, and the rest custom you also can define there.
Okay, clear.
Okay. So okay, guys, thank you so much.
Yeah,
for
thank you, Nitin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Nitin. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all.